Should be a good one this week. Got plenty of things to talk about, as always. Wait for the Hefe to come on here. Probably, I'm hoping you guys didn't get wrecked by daylight savings time. This one should be easier because it's an hour later. So you woke up early, realized that you still had an hour.
That's right. Hey. Yeah, no, I'm just listening. I'm stoked. This is great for me. I'm gonna enjoy this as long as it lasts, which is usually not that long. But I'm happy to get that extra hour back now, and now I only have to wake up at 6 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. So
exactly.
But no, it does make a difference, and I'm happy to take it, that extra hour.
Yeah, winter's over.
That's right. Yeah, doesn't feel like it over here, but I'm sure it'll start getting warmer pretty soon.
Are you back in and settled? Back from East Denver, all settled?
Not quite yet. I'm in Seattle today and driving back, so by tonight I should be home.
Nice. See you leaving a trail of Gotchi on the coast here. I saw your tweet. Very cool.
Yeah, I got one by San Fran, by the Golden Gate Bridge, and then I got one kind of driving down the Oregon coast. Nice. And we'll probably get one here today somewhere in Seattle before I leave. So
beautiful.
Awesome. We have a ton to discuss today. And so first things first, I'll drop our Miro board, and then we can just go through our proposals. Here we go.
Hopefully you guys can't hear the wind in my background. It's like super windy outside.
We cannot. Your noise canceling is on point.
Nice. So loud.
Yeah. I could try and share my screen through here. Let's see. I'm doing this on my laptop, so I don't have the normal amount of real estate that I get when I'm doing the call. But I'll share the Miro board so you guys can see it. How's that? Oh, that's cool, hardcore. First result, if you type DPEG, is us closing the curve, bonding curve.
That's so crazy. That's pretty cool.
Man, I cannot get over the timing of that. It really is a significant part of our story now.
We're gonna have to work that into the lore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was explaining to my girlfriend last night just like how just getting by the skin of your teeth, what it actually feels like.
Seriously.
Yeah, but we're here.
Not out of it yet, but hopefully DAI's gonna. They got some props that they're working on their governance side, and seems like things are. I mean, the narrative is. It doesn't seem to be that bad. I think we'll make it.
Yeah.
I don't know what DAI will be when we actually pull it out, so we're not gonna. We'll probably convert a little bit into something else, depending on slippage. But we're not going to convert like all of it immediately, I think, because there's just the liquidity right now is terrible. Maybe it'll be better by like mid next week as people start arbing. But right now, there's like no USDT out there.
Yeah, crazy. And so just to recap on that, for anybody who maybe doesn't know what's happening, I think most people do, but USDC and DAI both depegged. Of course, DAI depegging because it has some USDC also in its reserves, large amount. The USDC depegged because of a failure of a bank that was underpinning some of the assets. Is that right?
Yeah. So Circle they have like a $40 billion portfolio, right? And then basically 3.3 million of that is in this SVB bank. I think am I saying that right? Hopefully I'm not getting the details wrong. Yeah, and not Silvergate, in Silicon Valley Bank.
Silicon Valley Bank.
They have some money in Silicon Valley Bank, and now that Silicon Valley Bank is closed and bankrupt, they're only insured up to $250K per depositor. So that's obviously nothing compared to their assets under management. So people are just speculating, like, oh, is USDC gonna lose 10% of its assets? And I mean, the answer is probably not. Like Silicon Valley Bank, they actually almost have enough to cover everything. It's just all their money is in these bonds that have basically tanked because interest rates are going up. They bought all these bonds like at the top of the market for bonds, and when interest rate was like 0%, and now interest rates are like 4.5%. So all these bonds are just in the gutter, and because people started withdrawing their money from Silicon Valley Bank, they had to basically fire sale these bonds to get some liquidity, so they could pay the depositors for their withdrawals. And so that's what's causing this bank run. So they have enough. If they wait long enough, they will eventually have enough funds to pay everything off. It's just like right now it's a liquidity crisis. And so the market is just pricing that into USDC, saying, well, we don't think you guys are going to have all your funds. So you're not going to be able to, when people want to convert their USDC into USD, they're saying you're not going to have enough money for everyone to do that. So kind of like a mini bank run. But looks like the actual hole in the balance sheet of Circle is really not that big. It's like $200 million, which they should be able to cover pretty easily. And so that's why, the market, it definitely overreacted. So now we're back. We're down. We're still not 5% off the dollar in terms of USDC. But hopefully once people are able to start converting their USDC back into USD and redeeming it, there's basically going to be an ARB happening as people buy USDC and then convert it into USD and then kind of ARB the gap. So that should, if everything goes well on Monday, people should be ARBing USDC back up to $1, and then they won't be redeeming anymore.
Okay, no, this is important for people to know because there's a lot of USDC being held by, especially some of us who we spend most of our time here in Web3. So this is important to know. And so I guess what you're saying also is so long as people don't keep buying into that fear and let things recover, which seems to be the case, that this won't turn into some sort of a crazy bank run that feeds off of itself.
As long as Circle allows redemptions on Monday, things will go back to normal. And as long as they have enough liquidity to redeem all the USDC that people want to redeem under, like once people are going to want to ARB that gap, which is currently like 4.7 cents of a gap. So people are going to be buying USDC and they're going to be redeeming it for $1. So there'll be like a 4 or 5% ARB that they make on that, which is pretty good. So as long as Circle, number one, enables redemptions on Monday, and number two, has enough capital on hand, cash on hand, to facilitate those redemptions, it should go back up to $1. And then DAI is apparently, that should also go back up to $1 once all this is done, because most of the depeg was on USDC side.
Interesting.
So yeah, there were some serious ARB opportunities this week. If you had some firepower in USDT or in Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything, you could have bought DAI or USDC when it was like 88 cents, and you'd be already back up 7 cents on it. So like you'd have doubled your money basically. There are plenty of people ARBing that.
No, Future said he was buying in at 88 cents and he swapped it to Ghost with it. pump
Nice.
back up. So yeah, awesome.
So yeah, our vote was going to end on Tuesday at 2 a.m. UTC, so 10 a.m. Singapore time. And so I guess I think it's on the agenda today. We should talk a little bit about now that our worst fears have kind of happened. USDC and DAI did both depeg. Probably worth discussing long term what the DAO wants to put some of its funds in. So for the treasury, I know that there are some like bearded on the DAO side and the directors. They've gotten the buybacks started. So
Yeah.
currently they're buying them back in USDC, and we also have our biggest liquidity pool in USDC as well. So there's plenty of touch points that we have with USDC and to a lesser extent DAI currently, but going forward,
Yeah.
we'll probably want to liquidate a good portion of the DAI, keep it in various stables, and then some other potentially less stable assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So basically, what does the DAO want its portfolio to look like?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely discuss that. What I'll do first here is I'll rip through our proposals. There aren't that many of them to cover here, and then we'll get right into that. And shortly after that, we'll get the ThriveCoin guys on up here and talking about it. I think an interesting way we could actually start rewarding the global community in the Aavegotchi Discord and just across Aavegotchi in general. Yeah, let me just kick that off here. So, oh, yeah, I already messed up my own mirror board. You got to be careful with the mirror board because if you hold and drag sometimes, you'll move things off the page unintentionally, like I just did. And when you're using a trackpad, it definitely, this is frozen. Hang on. Yeah, when you're using a trackpad, it definitely makes things a little bit harder to use a mirror board. Okay, here we go. Cool. Well, I don't know where I moved that other item to, but it seems to have disappeared. Okay, we'll just go by proposal then. So securing protocol rewards, operational and funding requests. This is the buyback program and treasury management proposed. There is a core prop in progress for that, and both seem to be doing well. The SIG prop has not met quorum yet. Let's see here. If it's closed, it is closed. It did not meet quorum. So the signal proposal did not meet quorum, but there is a core prop out right now, actually. And that one does look like it's close to meeting quorum. So I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, I'm not sure why shouldn't the core prop have come out after the SIG prop had closed? Or was it just like a day apart? I don't understand. Either
Which
way,
one was that?
this is AGIP 69. Like I guess the signal proposal closed March 4th. Okay, no, that was so that's already closed. It just didn't meet quorum, that's all. It didn't meet quorum, but the core prop seems to meet quorum. Seems to have met quorum almost.
Was that the one that failed because of the snapshot issue?
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That totally
So
makes sense.
it did technically pass with the normal voting power. If it had had full voting power, it would have passed.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So here we got AGIP 68 and AGIP 69. So AGIP 68, Fun Fireball GG on-chain guilds. And this is Yannick's idea there behind making a sort of a tool using Gnosis Safe for guilds to manage their treasuries, manage their it could be wearables. I think he's calling it a guild inventory or warehouse. So that'll be really interesting. Fireball GG already has a great suite of tools, and I think this will just be another value add for guilds. So I know GMI is definitely going to be looking at using the on-chain guilds. So go and vote for that. That is 93% in favor of funding this, with 8.8 out of 9 million meeting quorum. Hasn't met quorum yet, but I anticipate it will. Just a quick look here, see where it's actually at right now. And it looks like we have met quorum, so that's awesome. So those are, let's just go back here real quick. So those are the only two open proposals right now. So we can discuss, Coder Den, you were discussing the operational and funding request specifically, which was talking about a buyback program, non-linear buyback program on an 18-month schedule. Do you want to speak on that a little bit, or do you want to speak on just at a high level, like treasury management for this unlocked DAI?
I don't have anything to say specifically on the buybacks, but I know Maxi Crouton and Dr. Wagme, Bearded, and basically all of the CTT have been working on that, so they can probably speak better on that.
Absolutely, yep. Get them up on stage here.
Just accept. There he is. Nice. Hey, sir.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
GM. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that proposal is about really the buybacks specifically. So we're doing front-loaded buybacks, as we've discussed a couple times now, around $1 million worth of buybacks over this first month, less the second month, and then it evens out over the following months. Bearded built a customized buyback bot that purchases Ghost every 4 hours using Gelato, and it finds the most efficient way to purchase the Ghost. That is going to be owned and operated by the DAO Foundation. The directors, multi-sig, they will put in more stablecoin to fund it, to fund those to keep those buybacks going, and then they can withdraw the Ghost to the protocol rewards wallet specifically. So that is what that proposal is about. And then we have some things to discuss still on it is, we're not going to put all of the stablecoin in that bot, right? We have stablecoin sitting around. So we should try to yield farm with that and then roll those, that interest earned into further protocol rewards. So basically we don't just have the funds sitting there. How can we put them to work? That's the whole point of closing the curve. So we're working on making some recommendations regarding treasury management, both for those funds, for the DAO treasury funds, and then basically the extra funds that we have that are designated for liquidity. So look forward to recommendations from that on us. And also probably this curve transition team is going to put a proposal to morph into a treasury and liquidity management team that will provide ongoing support from all of this perspective, because it's super important, and look forward to a couple proposals outlining what our recommendations are and then what that team looks like over the next month.
Nice. Yeah, great job getting the bot set up. And it looks like, has anyone, if you guys haven't seen it, maybe Dr. Wagme, do you have a link to some of the transactions? It's pretty cool. It's not just pulling from one pool, it's pulling from all of the different pools to make sure that we get the best price with the least amount of slippage. And it looks like it's firing off every 4 hours right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We're doing that to avoid slippage, and then using Gelato to make the most efficient purchase possible, just to avoid slippage, avoid people being able to front run the purchases, get the most out of our money from the DAO perspective. So honestly, I'm not even that sad about Ghost dipping down like it is. There's going to be more Ghosts for us to buy up and use as protocol rewards, and looking for a little bit of like social media support from our social media inclined crew here. Like we are putting millions of dollars into the Ghost token, and I don't think people really understand that. So there's some hype opportunity there if people are interested.
Yeah, we're not on our side. We're not going to talk about that, but I do agree it's a good thing to get the word out on. We can't talk about that officially.
Yeah, for sure. I'll work on a full editorial article over this next week after I'm off service about being excited about the Ghost token. Basically, big things to. I do think it's worth a little bit just feedback from the community on like where our heads are at from treasury management standpoint. Like, do we want how much do we want in stable coins? How much do we want in non-stables? And then if it's non-stables, like what are our priorities? Like ETH, Bitcoin, Matic. Those are hard decisions to make, but I think this week kind of proved to us that we need to make those decisions. We're going to work on like putting a couple different options in front of the community, but it's really helpful just to have feedback on like where people's heads are at. I know like Yannick, for example, was like, let's go all ETH. Let's buy ETH Max ETH. And that's one side of things. And then alternatively, it's like, well, USDC survived this. It'll probably be okay. So we can just stay in stables. And we probably need some answer that's in the middle, and really, really hoping for feedback from the community as we look to put some proposals together.
One question I had was, I know we are the DAO is putting some funds towards the quick swap incentives for Ghost USDC. Are those live yet, or are we still waiting for them to set up on Sigma?
It's not live yet. They told us they'd try to have it Friday, and they did not get it there. So I'm hoping it's up tomorrow. I know that many people removed their liquidity from the pool specifically because those rewards were not live as we'd expected. So I'm hoping that we see deeper liquidity once that goes live. So ready your Ghost USDC for the quick swap pool. It's quite a bit of Ghost rewards that should be available for liquidity mining.
Yeah, one point that the quick swap brought up when we were discussing the different options, I think it was Alexi, one of the quick swap guys. He did say like that from their data that they have, typically you need to provide double the amount of incentives to get the same amount of liquidity for a stablecoin pair compared to something like Ghost Matic or Ghost ETH. So if we're going for the deepest liquidity with a fixed amount of incentives, sounds like from what their data shows, it would actually be better to go with like a Ghost Matic or Ghost ETH pair. Really just depends, I guess, what our community wants to be in. If we want to be in Ghost USDC, we can incentivize that. But the QuickSwap team did say that you're actually getting kind of less bang for your buck in terms of incentives when you incentivize the stablecoin pairs.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I pulled out all my liquidity from Ghost from Ghost in general when we got rid of the Ghost Matic incentives, and I would put a lot back in if we had Ghost Matic or Ghost ETH. So anecdotally, that holds, and that would also help us de-risk from stable coins as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Matt, we're so closely aligned with Matic, and people have Matic when they come on the chain. So it could be, if we're looking for a replacement for Ghost USDC, could be an interesting option. But yeah, we need to see what some of the bigger LPs want to hold, and kind of tune it for that.
I think for now, trying to bolster liquidity makes sense. So maybe sticking with our plan. I mean, if it's going to go live tomorrow, but I think it's a discussion like worth having. It's really hard to navigate the DAO on this, right? Like, it feels like the curve transition team is going to make a recommendation, and probably whatever that prop is will pass. So just really important that stakeholders provide feedback to us as we try to get this right.
Mm-hmm. Because currently with Glitter, we're also providing pretty good incentives to the Ghost USDC pair. Let's look it up here. Last time I checked, it was like, was it 15% or 20%?
It's
Ghost.
20% because we
20%. Yeah.
got rid of the Matic option.
Yeah. So that's, if we are looking to destabilize things in terms of getting rid of the stablecoin pairs, that would be another one that would be a kind of a target. Maybe we don't want to get rid of it completely, but if the DAO does, if some of the LPs do prefer Ghost Matic, then we could certainly increase rewards for that. And according to Quicksock, we probably get more liquidity per dollar of reward for that pair.
I think it also will make sense to, now that the curve is off, I expect Ghost to track like ETH and Matic more closely than it was prior. Yeah. So I think we could see less in permanent loss. So it's even more attractive to provide those pairs.
True. Yeah, so I think liquidity is obviously a big discussion topic, and should we have like maybe a DAO forum post where people can? It would be great to hear different people's opinions on this topic outside of this call. So if there are any threads going on about this, I'm not sure if there are, but if there are, feel free to drop them in here. Mm-hmm. Or if not, we'll get one started.
Yeah, I finished up on service today. I'm off for 8 days, so I'll put together a DAO forum post tomorrow. Probably one for liquidity and then treasury. And just put it all in there and please provide feedback. The whole community, we need it. But we have a good team. Al is doing an amazing job, and then Maxi Crouton is a DeFi expert, and we have the right people in place. We just want to make sure that we get all the stakeholders' input.
Cool. So yeah, so related to liquidity, just general treasury portfolio management. Yeah, I'm curious to see if any from the CTT or just any other community members have thoughts about some portfolio management for what we're going to do with this 22.5 million DAI worth of tokens.
Kind of warning shot. I am asking the Origin protocol team to present to us a little bit. They have kind of their own stable coin, which farms multiple different farms, so it kind of spreads out the risk across many different stable coins, and uses blue chip DeFi processes to yield farm. They generate generally around 5% APR. It is on Ethereum, so when we get our DAI on mainnet, we could put some of that into the Origin USD stablecoin to generate yield there. It's maximally passive. We don't have to collect. You just put it in the stablecoin and the yield rolls in. So look forward to a proposal from them kind of outlining what their product is, and then they can present to us as well.
Would the DAO be interested in purchasing some real world assets? Because we were talking about this at the Gotchi Lodge, and maybe the DAO wants to post up a permanent Gotchi Lodge in Panama Canal. And T-Bird said he would bring his boat down there, and we'd go sailing and spread the word of Gotchi, and we'd live in our own little Gotchi commune, basically. Maybe the DAO might want to fund that. It might, diversify the portfolio a bit. And McCallum said he's going to keep the place clean. Natasha's going to be there, and it'll be a whole thing. We can even make a TV show based on the whole thing, real world Gotchi. So I got some ideas. For this treasury. Dr. Wagner, I am semi-serious. No, but we should seriously, honestly, for this treasury, I think all opinions do matter. And so if you have some interesting ideas on treasury management, even if you're not one of the big brains like Dr. Wagner, Maxi Crouton, who do have some really great ideas, feel free to pitch in. I think we can make this a fun conversation, and maybe we might even get some really great ideas out of it that we didn't think of. So.
And then kind reminder, we have 25% dedicated to the DAO treasury. we're going to be doing the best we can to use the liquidity funds and protocol reward to generate yield, and then obviously treasury too. But we still want to fund projects from the community that add and provide value. So, like you're saying, all ideas are still on the table. Teams that want to come together, provide value for the community, like still put props up.
Yeah, well said. Exactly. All right. Do we have any last items to cover regarding Treasury? Just this high level conversation we just had. Is there anything else here, Dr. Wagner? Go to Dan.
I guess as far as this die is considered, you guys are going to have it. It'll be sent to the Foundation multisigs, the 3 of them, on Tuesday. So we're not on the Pixelcraft side. We're going to convert our die probably, as depending on what the slippage is, into some various stables and maybe a little bit of Bitcoin and ETH. But whatever the DAO wants to do with that, you guys, the DAO will need to make some proposals, because I know that the Foundation multisig is not going to be converting that on behalf.
I expect some options and a proposal from us over the next week.
Right.
All right. Perfect. We got, I just got Senate up here. We met at Eat Denver. He is on the ThriveCoin team, and it was a pleasure to meet you there and talk a bit about what you guys have done for Bankless DAO and helping them recognize community contributors at all levels across their DAO. And maybe we can talk about some of the challenges they had before you guys came in. And, of course, we can start off with what ThriveCoin is for people who've never heard of ThriveCoin. So welcome to Aavegotchi DAO.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Hefe. Very excited to be here. And before I start, actually, I just want to see whether I can share my screen. Would be actually great.
Okay.
So I can walk us through the slides. Worst case, I might have to drop for a second and come back in because of the new permissions, but I hope it will work.
Okay.
To share I can share my screen.
You can share your screen now.
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't share your screen. I do have all the slides up on the Miro board, so I can go through them as you are making your way through, if you would like.
Okay. We can try it this way as well. I hope we will just be able to kind of follow through, and it would be great if you could invite Thrive Giraffe Daniel as well up on stage. So he's kind of available.
I was wondering who that is. I'm like, Thrive.
Yeah, he has Aavegotchi now as we've got Aavegotchi. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get your Gotchi up on stage. We gotta do that.
Gotchi, come up on stage, man.
Come on. I'm gonna invite you to speak.
Yeah.
Thrive Giraffe. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
I have entered the building. This is great.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just basically going to kind of get started, and I will tell you kind of to push the slides kind of down as soon as I'm okay. All right. So as you can see, I'm Senate, and I feel very grateful to be here today. I've been following the Aavegotchi community and Aavegotchi itself. Can stick to the first slide, please. I'm doing a bit of an introduction so that people know me. I've been following you for like a very long time now, and I love what you guys are doing with gaming. And I've been a gamer myself for almost my entire life, at least 2/3. And you basically combine effectively my two loves. And one of them is figuring out what it means to build a world where kind of real equity is possible. And the other is basically gaming. So the thing I've been doing almost my whole life. And this is what I feel Aavegotchi is doing, which is great. And so, I've been excited I'm now kind of excited to share a bit more about myself and kind of my background, and then walk you through the slides pretty quickly, and then we'll get into the kind of good part, which is opening up the floor for some Q&As. The founder of ThriveCoin, Daniel, as you can see, Thrive Giraffe, is also here. He's also very excited to answer questions. And yeah, just a quick background on me. I started in Web3 about 1.5 years ago when I joined Bankless DAO. And I mean, I worked, as many of us here, really hard. I did a bunch of cool shit. I was the DAO Relationships Guild coordinator, part of the multi-sig wallet, and I'm still, frankly, a member of the grants committee as of today. And while I was with Bankless, I met ThriveCoin and became part of the team, basically, that implemented ThriveCoin within Bankless DAO. And over the course of just 4 months, it became really a massive success. It was crucial for the success and kind of thriving of our DAO. And at some point, I was like, yeah, holy shit, this is amazing. And I would actually love to join the team. So I came on to ThriveCoin a little more than a month ago, I think. And it's been really amazing so far. And now I finally get to give my first presentation. And the founder, not just here, is literally next to me. So if I fuck all of this up, guys, I hope you can forgive me and just pretend that I did a good job, okay? All right. Okay.
No pressure.
All right. Okay. Without further ado, let's continue with the presentation. Hefe, you can go to the vision slide, which is the next slide. Yeah, I mean, at ThriveCoin, we really have a big vision, and I think it's it's aligned with my personal vision and frankly yours. We believe in a world where real equity is possible, where it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what your background is. If you create value for your community, you should be rewarded proportionate to the value you create. And I believe this is what Aavegotchi is doing. You're taking this world of gaming where almost no one has been rewarded, and I'm talking of experience, for devoting their lives basically to this world. And you're creating an ecosystem where all of us can have like real ownership in the experience that we're having collectively. And this is literally the world ThriveCoin is trying to create as well. And I think this partnership between us, this partnership between Aavegotchi and ThriveCoin, can create lots of goodness. Next slide. Thank you. But I mean, like, here's the problem, and I think we can all agree. In Web3 today, most communities can really reward their members for value they contribute. They can auto-validate the value creation that's happening in the community or across various platforms. They can reward those contributions or bring them on chain. And the amazing thing about Aavegotchi, though, is that this is not you. You guys actually do auto-reward and also auto-validate some contributions within the context of your game or when it comes to governance participation. You do snapshot rewards based on how many gotchis. Aavegotchi is a member wallet. So if you own an Aavegotchi and hold Ghost and you vote for proposal, it levels up your Aavegotchi. And I mean, this is amazing. And we are kind of already thinking in a very, very aligned way. And what I'm really excited about is, with ThriveCoin, is that we can help you take this set of principles, I like to call it dogma, to the kind of next level. Next slide, Hefe. Thank you. We can help you go from some to many. And the reason for that is that we built the first automated scalable rewards protocol in Web3, and we thereby make it really, really easy to make contributions to the community you deeply care about. We auto-validate contributions with bot and bad actor protection across dozens of platforms. We auto-reward them to your native token, and I mean, you have 5 native tokens. I mean, there's Ghost, there's Alpha, there's FUD, there's Keck, and I forgot one. I think there are 5. Okay, I already fucked up. And we can, we can basically those contributions on chain with what we call thank you note, so that they are transparent. You can see them, they're on chain, and ensure they are aligned with our ethos. Next slide. Now comes a very, very exciting part, and I'm very excited to share, this case study with you that I did by working with ThriveCoin at Bankless. And I'm really, really proud of that, and honored to have been part of it. And it's we support Bankless DAO now for across 2 seasons, and I mean during this time we not just experienced broad adoption and support, we have also increased core contributor engagement across the DAO. I mean, you can see like in 3 months, we went from a world where less than 1% of people are rewarded to rewarding almost 90% of contributions across Bankless DAO. In a world where contributions in DAOs are decreasing, we have almost quadrupled the number of members engaging in our community. And in a world where most of the top contributors are burned out, they're stopped working, they're leaving Web3 behind, we have actually increased contributions from the top members by close to 50% now. These numbers are a bit outdated. We're already close to 50. And we managed to do all of that during a bear market. And as of yesterday, we managed to do all of that during times where major stablecoins are depegging. So this is history.
I mean, that's actually, I was going to say, that's actually what got my attention is when you were talking about Bankless DAO and finding, actually successfully rewarding contributors fairly. Some contributors that may have not even been involved previously on a significant level, now getting more involved with Bankless DAO. I'm sure I'm going to have some questions about that, but definitely want to echo that caught my attention when we were talking. Sure.
Yeah, no, thank you. This makes a lot of sense. And I mean, it also got Apecoin's attention. And we launched in October with Bankless DAO as kind of a pilot. And just in January, so like 3 months after, Apecoin gave us a freaking $1.5 million grant in Apecoin to support their entire ecosystem. And we thought, wow, the second largest DAO believes in us and wants to adopt our technology basically to make it a piece of their core DAO infrastructure. And what's also worth pointing out here is that all of that happened during a really hard time in the Apecoin ecosystem. There are a bunch of proposals going out on Snapshot at Apecoin, and the community had major troubles passing proposals that have asked for like $10,000 worth of Apecoin. And I mean, yet we passed with, I think, unanimous agreement from the French apes, the Latin apes, Chinese apes, I think more sub-communities. And I mean, it was just insane. And this proposal will effectively support us, distributing, as you can see, 1.5 million over the next 6 months, but effectively $3 million worth of Apecoin back to the community in exchange for value-creating actions over the course of the next year. And I mean, frankly, and hopefully we can go up from there. So next slide. And this is an important one. Almost. I think it's the how it works part. Oh, it's on the right-hand side. It's right, top right. Yes. There we go. So basically how it works, the most important thing is it's super easy, okay? We basically create a community page that allows members to see all of the ways they can contribute to the communities and all the rewards that are offered. They simply need to connect the wallet and boom, they're rewarded basically for past and future contributions. I mean, it's that easy. I'll show you how it looks like for Aavegotchi at the end of the presentation, so stay tuned. I'm going to drop some alpha you might have already seen. So next slide. Yes, thank you. We basically support every way for someone to create value and all kind of contribution types from end to end. We are agnostic about what you value, and we want to help you basically reward those value-creating contributions at all costs. We are really not, just a tool. We consider ourselves a core piece of DAO infrastructure. And we are here to create more efficiency and more utility and basically more value for the community we deeply care about. Next slide. Thank you. yeah, the important piece here, we support around like 50% of Web3 activity today and are expected to be supporting around 90% in a couple of months, and across the whole spectrum. You know, contributions can exist across all platforms, including Snapshot, Discourse, Discord, Twitter. You can see all of that. And, you know, in this slide in particular, you can see the kind of contribution types that are in there. And the most important piece here is really that, you know, the right-hand side. You might have to zoom a little bit in, Hefe. Because on the right-hand side, you can see those two columns, bottom that actor detection. So the important piece here is we built the technology so that we can ensure that when contributions are made, they're actually value-creating contributions. So people, just to give an example, people don't get rewarded for writing GM in a channel. They get rewarded for providing helpful feedback on a governance proposal. And we track what we call known and unknown criteria. And you can decide, for example, that you only want to reward people whose comments are liked by 3 admins or more, for example. But the main point here is that, you know, it's going to be valuable, okay? So next slide. Okay, I think we already had that one. Almost all, yeah, we had that one. It's actually, I think in the middle, left-hand side. Scroll to the left, up. Yeah, the competition analysis. Basically, we are really what we call, or what I call, the V3 of an industry, frankly, that has been V1 for a very long time. And I mean, to be fair, we all know Coordinape, and Coordinape is an OG, and it's really great to be an OG. And lots of DAOs have been or are still using Coordinape, and you know, we love them and we support them. However, I mean, it's sort of, this is sort of where it stops, because Coordinape doesn't auto-validate anything. It doesn't auto-reward anything. It doesn't auto-record or anything on-chain. And there's also no bot and bad actor protection. And these are all the things that we're doing. Next slide, which should be also one of the final ones, I guess. Oh, no, this, you can skip this one. Basically, we support, you know, almost all major DAOs, and our team is fairly experienced. We are value aligned and what I call badass. Most of us are 3 natives, and most of us have also worked for large crypto companies before, and the team has basically scaled products to support many millions of users before. And what I think, you know, the most meaningful thing to me is really to be part of this team, and it really feels like a family, like a badass family. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what we do. And I told you, I think in the middle of the presentation, that there's might be some alpha coming. And if you scroll to the right, or move to the right, Hefe, to the custom Aavegotchi slide. I already said it now. Scroll down, boom, there it is, there it is, there it is. Scroll up, yes, there we go. Boom. You see, there's, I mean, we got so inspired by the opportunity to support the Aavegotchi community and, you know, this amazing organization, that we basically said, fuck it, and decided to design, you know, the Aavegotchi experience with Thrivecoin. And the Aavegotchi community will be hopefully live within a month, let's say. And, you know, connecting with Thrivecoin is as simple as connecting your wallet. And once you connected your wallet, yes, you can scroll down. Thank you. Nice. Once you've connected your wallet, you will be able to see all the ways that you can contribute to Aavegotchi. You can stake and earn a Ghost for Discourse contributions or any other tokens. You know, we can use all of those 5 tokens that you have, but, you know, I decided to go with Ghost because it's your governance token. You can provide Ghost as liquidity on DEXs. You see, we support Uniswap as well as other DEXs. You know, can be fairly 1-inch or whichever. And you can see all basically rewards and authenticate platforms. We ask you to authenticate, and boom, you're earning. And boom, together we are creating kind of the same world that we want to create, which is a world where you can have ownership over your participation in a gaming community, and frankly, a game, and overall Web3. and a world where, as we call it, real equity is possible. And yeah, I think there might be one more final slide, and then we are done. No, there isn't.
I was gonna say I see the comments rolling in here. I see some questions rolling in, so I'm gonna maybe run through the chat here and actually take a few questions if that's all right. And
more than happy to dive into the questions. Okay. Daniel is also here, and I mean, yeah, awesome. No, let's make it happen. Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah. So we got my column here. Is ThriveCoin an improvement over the typical bank distribution model within Bankless DAO? Or are they at Bankless DAO doing both now, with distributing Bank and Thrive, or the two correlated somehow? Maybe you could speak to that, just how they're using, because I think Bank token was their reward token initially, but maybe with Thrive on, being used now, is there a different way that they're handling this?
Senna, do you want me to take that?
Go ahead. Feel free.
Sure. So we, when we started with Bankless DAO, it was a pilot. And so as part of the pilot, they decided to use our testnet Thrive token. And the way the testnet Thrive token acts is essentially as a raffle ticket. So at the end of a season, there are all kinds of prizes that people can win. And your chance of winning a prize is the number of raffle tickets, that Thrive tokens, that you hold, divided by the total number of Thrive tokens that have been earned over the course of a season. And that obviously was massively successful. I think, Senate, by the way, you did a great job on the presentation and a great job talking about the Bankless piece. So what they're doing now is they're moving toward using Bank in go forward seasons. And we can support either native tokens, which is actually our preference, right? And that's what most communities are choosing to start now. Or we can support using our own testnet token. Either is fine. If you use our testnet token, then, again, it's used in a sort of raffle model. That's not needed, generally speaking, for communities with native tokens. We would not recommend that in the case of Aavegotchi.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Reading a comment by Dr. Wagme here. Love the idea of ThriveCoin. From the way he understands it, systematically rewards quality engagement as defined by ourselves. But you had also mentioned, Senate, the relationship of Aavegotchi XP and snapshot voting. Are there some sort of integrations that's ThriveCoin would be able to implement that would allow for a automated distribution of on-chain XP, for example, after someone's voted on a proposal? Because I think that would be something that would add significant, it would definitely significantly make that distribution a lot easier. From what I understand right now, we're still manually sending out XP for our Aavegotchis after voting proposals.
So that's what we do. We automate everything. So absolutely. We do integration so that we can automate processes that were previously manual. And that's what supports scale, ultimately.
Yeah, that's huge. I think we would find there'd be some great value in that. It's probably us as moving forwards as a DAO, we're moving towards metamorphosis, which means a lot of the functions that Pixelcraft, the design, where the Aavegotchis were initially designed, that's where the XP is usually handled, XP distribution is handled. And so, finding solutions moving forward where we can automate those processes would, I think, be valuable to the DAO. I'm scrolling through the comments here. Yeah, people are really liking the graphics for the interface. I think you guys captured the Gotchi vibe there. That's cool.
Nice.
Dr. Wagme saying here again, biggest obstacle he sees with maybe using ThriveCoin for, in his opinion, would be the way we would define valuable contributions.
Great.
Because you have a pretty diverse community, and so he's kind of wondering, how much active maintenance, or would there, how much active maintenance would be required, or would there have to be some sort of a community committee, for example, that might be responsible for managing the ThriveCoin platform for the
So
DAO.
I really, Dr. Wagner, I really appreciate that you brought that up. So the way we do implementations with all communities is that there's a community, in your words, committee. They call them different things: committee, subcommittee, guild, board. But there's a group of people that are well respected by the community. I mean, these are like the biggest users, core users, et cetera, et cetera. And their job is to usually meet weekly and to do two things. One, get all kinds of feedback from the community about what valuable contributions are, and two, get feedback from data. So what's working? Where's the supply and demand curves effectively? And then based on that, to suggest new contribution types, shift contribution types, shift reward amounts. And that's sort of a hallowed role. And, it has worked really well within as an example, within the context of Bankless Senna gave the example of ApeCoin or others. So we would do the same thing with Aavegotchi.
Awesome. Yeah. I know we have organizations within Aavegotchi. I'm one of the co-founders of GMI, and we were there at Eat Denver. And so one of our biggest things is community engagement. And so we're certainly going to be the test bed for sure for implementing a ThriveCoin system, ThriveCoin-based system, and at least start learning about how we can really scale this, like implement it across other parts of Aavegotchi. Like you said, it starts with I think a committee or a team that's willing to, kick this off and get some momentum on this. We also got a question here from Mikey J. So the way he understands it, this is a tool for automating the verification of off-chain activity to release funds on-chain. I guess that could be one of the potential use cases. You had mentioned,
Yeah.
for example, contributing to a forum post. Would that be able to translate to actually receiving automated funds on chain?
Yeah, this is a really good point. So one of the strange, almost counterintuitive things about Web3 is that in many cases, Web3 isn't Web3, right? It's Web2 on behalf of Web3. We're sitting here on Discord right now talking, that's Web2. Twitter, Web2. Discourse, Web2. Most of Snapshot, Web2. And the problem is that, data exists within those Web2 environments and those walled gardens, and communities can't benefit from that data because it's not on chain, so they can't learn from it. But also, it's not on chain, meaning it's not really that transparent. And so that's exactly right. I mean, what we do when we automate these processes and when we auto validate and then auto reward and then auto bring on chain is that we create the transparency that is aligned with Web3 ethos, that's aligned with an ownership ethos. So it's not just about kind of auto rewarding, it's about creating kind of deep values alignment as well. It's also worthwhile noting that we can also auto validate, activity in person, right? Using apps like Token Proof. So whether it's Web3, whether it's on-chain activity, off-chain activity, but talking about Web2 or off-chain activity, but in person, we can do it effectively at all.
Yeah, and so I guess people are trying to figure out here, is there one specific thing you guys are doing? You guys do everything. Is this, is Thrive basically a one-stop shop for, across like automation, engagement, across all these things that we're kind of discussing? Like, do you guys find that, once Bankless DAO or, ApeCoin DAO started using your product, that they kind of moved away from other tools that they just left behind, like D-Work and some of these other things that people are currently using in the space?
So we think of ourselves not as a tool, but as connective tissue or infrastructure. We're actually tool agnostic, and we, within the context of some communities, reward people for engaging, even the tools that you just talked about. We reward engagement with DWork. We reward engagement with Coordinate. At the same time, we're noticing that communities are realizing that they can use at ThriveCoin to do a lot of the stuff that they're doing with some of those other tools. And so, for example, with Bankless, they had been using Coordinate for a long time, but they stopped using Coordinate after they started working with us. So we're deeply respectful of the environment. We think of ourselves as, really wanting to kind of link everything up and support people in being rewarded wherever they are. And at the same time, ThriveCoin is quite powerful. I mean, it was built to be extraordinarily flexible and to automate a lot of activity that was previously not, automated or automatable. So, communities are using us in new and more and varied ways every day.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it is the fact that you guys are like you say, a connective tissue. It does allow for the communities to tailor their approach to how they want to use it. Uh, yeah, again, with Mikey J bringing up an example here that I can kind of explain to you guys, maybe might give some context to how Aavegotchi DAO might use this.
Yeah.
He has a statistics page for Aavegotchi wearables called wearables.report that we've used in the past to help us inform some decision making. And we have the recent release of the Forge, which allows for fractionalized wearables and composable wearables. Say he wanted to include, like he wanted to do an upgrade to his website, his statistics website. He wanted to include these forging metrics. He's asking, how does this change the way in which I contribute and get paid today? Which, the DAO would have to, he would have to put up a proposal, a funding proposal, and then go through a SIG prop, core prop, and then he would get paid by the Aavegotchi DAO Foundation. Versus, if we were to do this through ThriveCoin, I guess what would be the workflow there with that?
Okay. I'm going to broaden this
Yeah.
just a little bit because you bring up a really good point. So, and this is where we really think we have the opportunity to create real value in the Web3 environment. Currently, if people want to be rewarded for really meaningful contributions that they make to a DAO, they don't just need to be a builder. They need to be a builder and generally a salesperson and a politician, right? Because they've got to make a proposal, they've got to sell the proposal, they've got to get a community aligned on the proposal, and then go, right? That's a lot of work, and people who aren't up for being builder plus salesperson plus politician, the impact is that value doesn't get created for the DAO, which sucks. I mean, it's value lost. And so, one of the great opportunities, hopefully that we see and, one of the big holes that hopefully that we're filling is the 99% of people who aren't builder, salesperson, politician, who just want to create value, but can't because they have this whole big process to go through. Now, what they'll do is they'll give feedback about all the ways that we can create value for DAO, and that becomes a contribution type. That becomes a way to contribute. And as long as they contribute in that way, as long as they create that value, they get rewarded, and it gets recorded on chain. And if it creates an immense amount of value, there will be many more rewards that look like that. And if it doesn't, we'll learn from it and move on.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, firsthand, we've experienced that at GMI. I mean, it is part of the reason why we spun up the Discord server in the first place. Is we found that people had great ideas, had great execution of those ideas, even, but did not have the bandwidth or just the interest in writing up a proposal and getting the idea funded. And that's basically where it ended. That's where their contribution ended. So, then you had to have someone like myself, or, you have Dr. Wagney, you have some really experienced people in our community who have been really helpful in saying, hey, like you should put a proposal out for this, or, let me help you draft something up, or, going out on their own limb and putting out a proposal for something that they see the community needs.
Yeah.
And so I think there could be ways here to extend the ladder down further, where people may have not been willing to climb, and offer them a way to also be recognized.
Absolutely. And maybe to add on to one point, one thing that you mentioned, Hefe, which was very, very important, I guess. It's like you asked whether we can support existing ways of whether we are able to connect and support the ways that you're already incentivizing people to do things. And the short answer is basically yes. We can integrate with everything existing that you're using. Even if you decide you want to continue to use Dwork and Coordinate, we can support you in doing that. The thing that we just realized, especially with Coordinate, for example, is that at some point there is failure. I mean, there's been this major incidents in Bankless DAO where our Coordinate admin has gamed the system for more than 2 months, and basically has filled up his bag with bank, while we thought that this person, that they are doing, their duties and following up their responsibilities. So in the end, we now decided at Bankless DAO that we are not going to use Coordinate at all on a DAO-wide level. On a smaller level, there are some teams that say we are a group of 5 people, and Coordinate is pretty useful because it takes off operational overhead. We're like, okay, we will incentivize you to use that, and we will reward you for doing that, for doing the work that you do properly. However, on a DAO-wide level, we notice that when we talk about core DAO infrastructure that helps a community scale, we haven't had that yet, and this is what we do.
This is awesome. Yeah, Dr. Ryan is saying Thrive Giraffe really makes me feel heard. That's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people empathize, especially a lot of DAO contributors and even potential DAO contributors really can empathize with some of the challenges that you brought up today, and also could maybe potentially look forward to some of these automations or solutions that you guys could provide. I certainly think Aavegotchi DAO could benefit from a community. Well, I think we already have it to some degree with a lot of the guilds that we have in our community, but to empower them further and to, I think the guild is going to be the entry point for Aavegotchi games in general. And I think having some sort of an infrastructure like what ThriveCoin is doing would be beneficial. I'm just reading through the last bit of the comments here. I think someone was asking up here if I might have lost that question. Actually. Why is Thrive better than DAO Lens? Both seem exceptionally strong. What's the difference? Are you guys familiar with the DAO Lens product? That's something we actually haven't talked about very much as a DAO either. But they are their AI powered tool that is more, well, honestly, hardcore. I think DAO Lens, from what I've seen, is more of a aggregation tool to take Discord conversations and just information and aggregate them into usable, kind of like a lot similar to one of the tasks that you do with archiving, but to a more AI powered level, where it's just aggregating everything. I don't know if you guys will actually be able to speak to that, but if you know anything about DAO Lens and how Thrive is maybe different, I'll let you guys speak on that.
I can't speak to DAO Lens. I don't know them well. I know, most of the players that we're sometimes compared to. So my guess is that they're not they might be adjacent to us, but
yeah,
my guess is that they're not competitive. I will say this though. My personal background is, and the background of our entire leadership team is in building community infrastructure at scale. So, the last organization that I built, we supported Google and Microsoft and Oracle, Cisco, Citibank, KPMG, organizations like that. And, step 2, as you're getting tons and tons of data, which I think we did a pretty good job at that, is the AI and machine learning piece. And so we're very, very cognizant of the ways in which we can use AI and machine learning to take what we've already built, which we think is pretty cool, and double, triple, quadruple down on it. And you might be seeing more and more alpha coming out in the next couple months.
Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to that alpha, and I think we should definitely discuss ThriveCoin, not only on Aavegotchi DAO level, but also I think GMI. We would be interested as a, someone who, an organization that's highly active in the Aavegotchi community. I think we would find using ThriveCoin really beneficial. So really appreciate you guys taking us through the slides. They were really helpful, really informative. We have them up on the Miro board for anybody who wants to go back and work their way through the slides. If people want to learn more about ThriveCoin or they want to contact you guys directly, where can they do that?
Yeah, so you can always go to thrivecoin.com. And Senate and I will put our information in the stage kind of chat that exists right now. Please reach out to us. I mean, we're super community focused. It's all of our backgrounds, and we are very excited. I mean, we spent a lot of time with the Aavegotchi guys at ETH Denver, and I mean, who you are, what you represent, the vibes you give out, it's just fucking cool, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I think and I feel a lot of alignment. I've heard the same, on your side as well. And like, holy shit, like what can we build together? And Senate, great job on your first significant community presentation. I really think you crushed it. So nice job, man.
Oh,
No,
absolutely. I didn't
thanks
even
a lot.
realize that was your first one. I just realized that now.
I mean,
thought
I
you'd been
was
doing this
probably
for-
very passionate about doing it here in the Aavegotchi community because, as I said, I love what you guys are doing, and hopefully we can make and create a meaningful impact together, which would be awesome, and hopefully again history.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Love what you're doing. Thank you for spending time with us here this morning, and feel free to hang out in the chat there. If there are any questions, feel free to field those. But I think there's a couple more things we want to address here for the meeting. But yeah, again, feel free to hang out. And again, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Awesome. So let me just rewind back. Let's move back here a bit. That was awesome. There was a couple items here I wanted to cover here before we wrap up here for today. The foundation proposal guidelines. This was something that was brought up. I think this was discussed amongst the DAO foundation team. So if someone wants to actually speak on the foundation proposal guidelines, this is basically a standard, I guess, that we would like to reinforce with proposals, having a list of transactions that can be executed by the foundation, and what details would need to be included in that. Is that something someone wants to come up and speak on? Otherwise, I can just quickly go through here. Here, let me just pull this up. This is up by Maury. So check out this thread. This is in the OG DAO forum. And so saying, with recent proposals, it's become clear that the ambiguity may become a recurring problem. I'd like to propose some guidelines that should be followed for safe and successful executions by the foundation. And so proposals should have a list of transactions that should be executed by the foundation with the following details. And so these are just some of the things you might want to include here. A list of transactions that the foundation should execute in detail that was just mentioned. And this should include the contracts to call, functions to execute, and what multi-sig the call should be from, and the parameters for the functions. And so basically as much detail as possible, really. And these, I think, are just the minimal asks. This is something that's not really included in proposals up to date, but we should definitely have that for transparency reasons and for the foundation's bookkeeping. So without these details, the foundation is left to fill in the details, which is not ideal. The foundation only exists to execute the will of the DAO, and those details should be provided, basically. So yeah, we just basically need a template or a proposal template would be helpful, even though our proposals are they can vary quite a lot from one to the next. I'm just reading the comments here. Yeah, that's just, I don't really think we need to have a conversation on this. Just looking through it, it's just something we should be thinking about to to get a just an expectation established between the foundation and DAO proposal writers. The DAO steward team. So just gonna go here. This was by My La La La. My La La La. Yeah. Aavegotchi OG, definitely remember seeing him in the Discord in the early days. So he is proposing I believe he's a ambassador on the Aavegotchi Asian market, and so yeah. Just down. Actually, let's go to hardcore's notes here.
Yeah, just for some context on Mia, if you guys saw the video I did recently, the interview with the nice forest and chilling in the drinking the tea and all that, that was Mia. So she's our CM here in China. And this is, I think this is a secret project that she and some of her teammates have been working on for like the last year or so. So it's basically, if it's, maybe she can come up if she's around, but my understanding of it is that it's like a competitor to Boardroom and Deep DAO, but it solves some issues that those two platforms have, which I'm not totally sure what they are, but yeah, it's I haven't explored it too much, but it looks pretty powerful, pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a little clip here. I'm just gonna play it here. Let's see. So it's a Aavegotchi DAO dashboard. Oh man, this is cool. So you got your Twitter feed, you got your Treasury tab, Treasury report, governance, NFT pass. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I thought this would be really useful for the DAO to have. It's just a, Aavegotchi on your guys' end for just Aavegotchi itself, especially on Pixelcraft's behalf, has great representation. But Aavegotchi DAO does not have really strong representation at this point. We're still, I think we will see a Aavegotchi DAO YouTube channel here pretty soon. Once this media proposal passes, we'll get a Aavegotchi DAO YouTube channel where we can have our all of our content from these meetings hosted there, as well as the occasional interview that gets taken by one of ourselves to be posted up there. We also have an Aavegotchi DAO lens that we're not using, and we also have an Aavegotchi DAO Twitter handle that we haven't really made much use of. So we do have these things, and I think a dashboard would be a natural addition to have some sort of Aavegotchi DAO representation, especially for newcomers who are like, what the heck is Aavegotchi DAO? I've heard of Aavegotchi, but like I did not know you guys had a DAO. And so we can show them, DAO activity, recent proposals, recent tweets, content, all that stuff should be aggregated in one place.
There she is. Hey, Mia.
Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
GM, and yeah. So thank you so much for displaying the video and all of the content, etc. So I'm not sure if we have the time to do that, but I just want to say a little bit about the past and how we to do the cooperation with Aavegotchi DAO and how we contribute to the DAO. So I've noted there are because the collapse of the FTX and also SVB, so we've seen a lot of more people paying attention to the details, the security about the treasury and also the governance, etc. Especially Aavegotchi DAO is becoming more and more complicated because it's more mature than other DAOs. So we will have seen more proposals and more transactions within the treasury. So I think it will be really cool to have a dashboard to let everybody know what's going on with the DAO and the whole comprehensive data about the treasury, about the history, about the governance, and the voting status data, etc. So I think it will be really cool to let everybody know, not only the DAO members in the Aavegotchi community, but also the potential target that will be really interested in the DAO landscape as well, to know how active DAO Aavegotchi is. And it's one of the most active DAO in the space, no matter for the treasury and also for the governance as well. So I think that's the dashboard plays an important role in that. And another thing I want to like propose is that we can do a monthly audit report. So it's also shown in the bill that we will have a section that shows a treasury report under the treasury section. So so it will let everybody know for example, the proposal proposed this month, and also the balance of the treasury this month, the holdings of the Aavegotchi DAO, not only fungible tokens but also NFT assets. If we do hold a lot of NFT assets, including other Aavegotchi NFTs. So so everybody will know the true value of it, and have more trust on the team and the DAO as well. And besides that, we will have a chase of the proposal that have passed by the DAO, because there are now more proposals in the forum, and there will be definitely more proposals approved or rejected by the DAO as well. So it will be really good to have record of all of the proposals and how is the project going every month. So we will have a feedback on that as well. So it's basically a report for the people to spend less time on discovering, but also have a recap on what's going with the DAO. So yeah, I think that's the purpose of the dashboard and also the report. And beside that, we also have the secret project Danny's mentioned. We have already like a partner with many other DAOs, including the MakerDAO, MakerDAO, Minbit DAO, and also we are now talking with Bankless DAO as well. So it's it's also trusted by many other well-known solid DAOs in the space. So it will be pretty cool to spread this kind of words with other DAO related partners as well. So yeah, that's basically the stuff that we are trying to contributing into the Aavegotchi DAO ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate you sharing that. I think the DAO summary is something that we could really benefit from also, and just to see, just to be able to show communities like, hey, the DAO funded this much, this X amount worth of community initiatives and X amount of project funding this month, and these are the things that are getting built. That's just one facet of it, but like, what a great way to show some really awesome metrics, and kind of just like, have everything in one place that we can be proud of as a DAO, and like send people over there so they don't have to go looking for it. I think it's a really it's like a simple thing when you think about it, but it's like we haven't done it yet. So is this made by an organization? Like, is there a specific organization you work for that does this sort of thing, or did you go out on your own and build this dashboard just specifically tailored for Aavegotchi?
I am definitely responsible for that. But we have a small team support this kind of dashboard, and we do have a platform called the Pastel 2. It's a DAO aggregator platform. As Dan mentioned earlier, we do have other competitors like DeepDAO, Ballroom, etc. But we do have more metrics than them, including we have a more detailed treasury balance, including the NFTs, because they didn't really check about NFTs, only NFTs, and they didn't really checking the for example, the derivatives of the DeFi assets. For example, the staking. If they are in staking status, they didn't really check about that, but we also check about that as well. So we do have more metrics or data about that side. But for Aavegotchi, we do customize everything. So you can check over here is more like a standard one, but we have customized the UI UX for Aavegotchi, and also we roll out the monthly report. So that's more specific customized service for Aavegotchi as well. So that's the part we want to contribute in. So I think it's not only it can be pretty easy to check the transactions, but not everybody in the community know what the transaction means, right? So I think not a lot of people knows how many revenues the Aavegotchi DAO is actually getting from the marketplace, right? So it actually goes to the treasury to addresses every day, daily, right? But not everybody is tracking that and also familiar with that. But it will also combine into the firstly it will combine in the activity of the dashboard, and the secondly we will combine into the treasury report. So yeah, we'll have a fully disclosure about the status quo of the treasury balance. They didn't really have to check about that, and it can be they need to have this kind of technology skill kit to do that. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I mean, V1, V1's been V1 of the treasury management dashboard since forever, since I joined Aavegotchi. And so I think it's about time, I think, we look at upgrading some of our infrastructure on behalf of the DAO and getting a nice clean UI. And I really like the design you put together here. Is this something you're thinking of putting together as a proposal to the DAO? Because I imagine that this would probably, if the DAO is wanting something like this, it might have some ongoing maintenance that might be required, to have like you say, a team of people that would be willing to pull that data and make sure that everything's up to date on the dashboard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just the proposal way we actually propose on the forum. So definitely let us know if the community have more questions about the proposal and if we want to like dive more deeper about the data set, we can definitely involve more. Just let us know if we have any feedbacks about this part, because I do see some of the team members also raise the similar questions about want to know deeper about the treasury inflow, outflow, etc. And they do think they need no matter about the team or a person to do that. But I do see this kind of demand coming from the community. So that's one of the reasons that we want to do this kind of proposal. So yeah, feel free to let us know if there is any more demands about the dashboard side or the data side as well. Thank you. By the way, thank you for letting me up to the stage at the last minute. Yes, I didn't really prepare that for that more, but thank you so much for letting me speak here and on the stage.
Well, no, thank you on behalf of Aavegotchi DAO for coming up here and speaking to us, because we need more people coming up here and speaking to the DAO and coming up with these really cool ideas. We've been talking about this for a little while now, and I'm glad someone out there was listening. Like Hardcore said, it's almost like discovering life on another planet. It's like, wow, there are people out there like us that are also thinking like this and have solutions and a team ready to execute on this. So thank you first and foremost for coming up here and sharing everything with us today here. And the same goes to anybody else out there. If you're hearing us talking about things we wish we had, and you feel like you might have the solution, or you're able to get the team together to do that, please reach out to myself, reach out to Hardcore, and we can make it happen. We can help you get up here and speak on your proposal. So yeah, again, thank you. Do we have any more questions for Mia before we? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Mia and her team are definitely GMI. Absolutely. I don't think we have a whole lot else for today that's pressing, and so if there is anything else you guys have up here that we might have missed for today, something quick that you might want to mention. Oh yes, no futuristic the budget extension for Denver team. We are going to be putting in a budget extension for Ethereum Denver. We did initially get our funding, and that quickly was used up. Our roster went from a team of 6 to a team of, I believe, at 14. We have 14 contributors at Denver, and we all really worked hard. I think people are just well deserving of even a higher rate based on the workload and the work ethic that was shown there. And so I'm going to advocate for that. And, we have quite a few significant voices in the community who have also got behind us. And so we are putting together a budget extension. But we will get a forum post out there. We'll get a discussion going around it. But overall, the sentiment seems to be really good. And yeah, exactly. We want to make sure we take care of people. So just reading the comments here. Yeah. So just keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I appreciate you, Dr. Wagme. It was actually really nice meeting you, Dr. Wagme, and Diddley Poo there, and getting to know you guys. Uh, it was a pleasure. And actually, check out McCallum Gotchi Brothers podcast that just came out yesterday. I believe you guys put that out there. Please drop that in the chat. You guys should go listen to that podcast because we do talk about our experience at Denver. You can get a sense of the energy there. As Dr. Waggy walked in and we were talking to him about Denver right in the venue. So it was really a special moment in my opinion. And so yeah, go check that out. Anything else? DAO Media team. We will get a SIG prop out there. We already discussed it a couple of weeks ago. There isn't really much to change there. But I will put a SIG prop out there and then make sure that there's some sort of a discourse area for anybody that has comments, concerns, anything like that. McCallum, you just dropped something in the chat here. Yeah, this is the Eat Denver Funds distribution plan. And so we have upgraded the pay structure to $21 an hour, which was calculated at 15 Ghost an hour when Ghost was at $1.42. So that might need to be adjusted. But the rate was at $21 an hour for 12-hour days per day. And then we were able to log up to 10 days max. And so that is across the board based on how many days each team member put in. Of course, core team members put in the majority of that 10 days where we had other cavalry, we call them cavalry members. People came in after the fact that were also contributors, and they definitely deserve some compensation.
Well, and let's
as well.
let me hop on here too real quick, Hefe, and just make it clear for everybody that this isn't necessarily like just a small bag or just a tiny increase or a slight budget adjustment for like bonus pay or anything like that. We blew up our budget. We went from 6 initial core team members to 13 paid roles, some of which had some travel expenses as well and some compensation opportunities as well. So our budget needs to be significantly extended. So we've been able to make everybody whole in terms of direct expenses that they incurred. And so that has been done. The compensation strategy right now is not able to handle the 13 people at 50% payout. So not only do we not have enough to pay everybody on hand, we are relatively dependent on this budget extension. Talking with friends throughout the space, we feel that the value is delivered and it's not a hard ask, but just making that clear. So people like myself, Hefe, Futuristic, Zombie, a lot of the core team members have actually deferred compensation for the time being just to put it on pause. So that way the funds on hand can be used to support our cavalry members that we did not anticipate their contributions. And so we want to just make sure we're being good teammates and taking care of everybody else first, and we'll eat last. But this budget extension is critical. Otherwise, you're going to have the Eat Denver team go without pay, quite honestly. And so we'll get the numbers crunched. I have a budget that I can share with anybody that wants to see it, and happy to answer any hard questions or scrutiny or inspections on it. But we'll be turning this in shortly and feel very strong about the value that we're requesting on this one.
Yeah, well said. And so, like you just mentioned, we'll be making sure that we get some sort of discourse and eventually get the proposal up there as well. Dr. Wagme, new Forge prop within 10 days. We'll post on forums for feedback. You are going to be going on your off days soon, so it'll be nice to get some of that put together, and looking forward to seeing that. Let's see, hardcore. I think it would be a good precedent to set if we compensate people who do work on in a non-official capacity. If people show up and work and the official work just notice, we should make them whole admin. Yeah. Full-time Aavegotchi, living the dream. Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel you. That is the dream. And yeah, the more of us that can live that dream, the better. All right, guys. I think we're good. Coder Dan, do you have anything you want to discuss? Anything you got left here for today?
Yeah, I'm just opening up Aragon here. Gonna check the state once this client syncs. I'm gonna check the state of where we are here on the vote. Has everyone here on the call voted? Curious what kind of voting power we already have, because currently
I voted the contract last night.
Okay. It's gonna take a second for it to sync here, I think. Just give me a couple minutes. While we're finishing up, haven't been an update recently on the Ghost Bazaar listing fee, but now that all the curve craziness is over or almost over, I'm probably gonna reinvigorate that proposal. So I'm just curious, are there any new thoughts from anyone? Has anyone thought about this recently, about what you would like the Bazaar listing fee to be? Do we want to continue doing it in 0.1 ghost, and should that ghost be burned? Should it be sent somewhere? Or do we want to switch to Matic or totally remove the Bazaar fee? So we have a couple options. I mean, if we change it to Glitter or Alchemica, we're not really making anything easier. We're actually making it kind of harder for people. The purpose of changing it was to make it easier for new people to list stuff in the Bazaar.
What about a free list, like free to list, but then the delisting fee is charged in Matic? And then that way we're still the barrier to there's no barrier to listing your item, but if you are delisting it, and so if you're trading items frequently, there'll be a Matic fee maybe that you're paying. Then maybe the Matic can be used towards some sort of a gasless feature somewhere on the protocol at some point.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Why do we want to make it easier for someone's assets but no ghost to list in the Bazaar? The idea basically is that if someone receives an asset, they don't have ghost, they might receive it and they're like, well, what can I do with it? Maybe it's a fake gotchi, maybe it's something like a wearable or a raffle ticket or something. Maybe they don't want to use it, but they don't have the ghost to go and sell it. So it would basically be easy for them to sell it and get some ghost, and hopefully they'll stick around, right? Once they've gotten that ghost, they'll be like, oh, this is kind of cool, and they would stick around. That would be the idea. But I mean, I wouldn't call it dumping. It's just like, not everyone's gonna, we give away these items sometimes and people might look at it and it's just extra friction for someone to get involved in the ecosystem.
Currently, what is the fee currently for those of them people that don't know? I don't think it's like really significant. 0.1%.
It's 0.1 ghost right now, and that 0.1 ghost is burned.
Mm-hmm.
So now that ghost is fixed supply, then we are technically we can call ourselves a not depreciating. What's the word? Super
deflationary.
The deflationary. We're kind of sorry, it's like almost midnight for me, sleepy.
We got you.
It's not hard money. It's the ultrasound money, like the ETH meme. But with the ghost burn, it's kind of cool that we have that. But does that actually serve the ecosystem? Hard to say.
Yeah. No futuristic. Let it burn. I think we have a lot of arsonists in Gotchi Gang. They just want to let things burn. So. Yeah. Okay.
Those strong opinions. Let it burn or do whatever makes sense. We could do it or we could not do it.
Cool. So maybe we'll kick that off. Maybe I'll make a thread on that this week. So just to check in here on the Aragon, we are currently at 0.49%. So there's currently 260,944 ghosts that has voted. So currently, if Pixelcraft voted with all of our ghosts, that would put us up to about 7%. So we need at least 1% more from the community, which should be pretty doable, hopefully. Hopefully everyone didn't bridge their ghosts back to Ethereum or back to Polygon after the first vote.
If you did vote on either, we did clear this up during one of our spaces that we have with Golden Cross in the future. If you did vote on either of those votes, if you didn't make it to the first, it's fine. You voted on the second, you will be eligible to get your badge.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Ghost Independence Day badge.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. I don't think we have any other outcomes to discuss. It was a good meeting. Does anybody have anything else? I think No Future says he wants to open a portal. Are we doing that right now?
Do it. Let's hear the sound.
Yeah, I'm down to do it. I'll do it right now. I got it open on my screen. Let me just make sure that the sound is actually on.
Yeah, we got 47 people in the room.
You can share your screen.
Oh yeah, I forgot I could do that.
Absolutely. Let me.
Oh wait, but I can't. I'm doing it on a different computer. Let me see if I can do it from this computer to share my screen.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do a DGen portal open. Get that 599 BRS.
Is this the prime number you were looking at? You're eyeing it.
Wait, how do I share a screen? Because I haven't done this before. Oh wait, there we go. Not my camera. Share a screen. Oh, that's actually disabled for me. Oh wait, no, there we go. Hell yeah. All right, you can see it. Okay.
Nice.
All right, let's open this. It's going to be this one, 2357. It's a prime number. I did all this research into this. It's like a 17th additive prime, like some kind of special prime number. But we'll pop this bad boy open. Let's do it.
Tap it.
Oh wait, let me make sure the sound's on for it.
All right, if it's prime number, Mikey G's can stay.
All right, I'm gonna get wrecked, but let's go.
The numbers make sense. The numbers make sense.
Yeah.
Did Portal 0? Has anyone ever seen that portal or know who owns it? That thing, I want to see that thing opened one day.
Which portal is that?
Portal 0.
Oh, 0. I think that one should just stay closed and hermetically sealed wallet that nobody can access. Right?
Maybe. I don't know, man. It'd be pretty cool to see Gotchi 0 walking around.
Yeah, I mean, first Aavegotchi is holding it down for us, but we might need to get Gotchi 0 in the mix.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go buy another portal. I should have bought another portal last night before they started to go up in price, but I'll probably get another one. I have some ghost. On Sergey.
Yeah, Coder Dan, are you saying that because Portal 0 has some secret hard coded, maybe all of the ghosts had Aavegotchis in there?
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's 600. That's the perfect 600 portal. It's hard coded.
So the first Gotchi is a rarity 421. Second Gotchi is a rarity 513. Let's see. Third Gotchi is a 520. I like that.
520, yeah.
520. Come on, keep going up. Next one's a 370. That's super low, right? What's the lowest they can go?
300.
Is not. Yeah, I wouldn't say 370 is rare low, but it's low.
Yeah, it's also this is a tender Gotchi, so I don't think anybody wants that. All right, what's number 5? A 446, rather common. Next one's a 384, another tether. Wow, there are a lot of tether gotchis in this one. Next up, a 421 Aavegotchi, rare low
Why
eyes.
couldn't have been a 420, man?
Yeah, right. Number 8 is a 467. Number 9 is a 398. Wow, I got 3 under 400. Okay, it's the last one here, a 461. All right, so I'm thinking the best one was that 520, right?
Yeah, you had a 520 in there.
Yeah. All right, that's the one. This is a wheat gotchi also. I love the way the wheat gotchis look.
This is a nice eyes, man. Good looking gotchi.
Dope. I'm going to open another one. I'm just feeling like a degen. Let's do it.
I love it.
Let's go.
Let's see the numbers, though. Which number should we pick?
Bravo.
None of these are prime numbers. What are we thinking? You got 2428, 21 963, or 23504?
Knock out your 20 series. That's my opinion. You already got the
20 series?
Crack.
Okay,
you already got the 20.
2428. All right. Good thing I didn't Portal War with Dr. Wagme because I probably would have lost. Right, here we
Mikey
go.
J throwing in a stat here. Only 12.51% of portals have a gotchi with BRs equal to or greater than 520.
Ah.
Winning.
You're winning. I would say that's a win right there.
Yeah, I'll take it. 520 is nice. That's a good
pretty
gotcha.
yeah.
Dress it up and get it some rewards this upcoming round, which is Tuesday, right? We have a rarity farming round coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys will get your schematics, and anyone wants to forge will have about a day to forge some stuff ahead of the snapshot.
Oh. There we go. All right, it's open. First is a Bitcoin gotchi. I don't have many Bitcoin gotchis, so I'm kind of partial to this one. It's a 416.
Cool.
Second gotchi is a die gotchi, where you don't want the die gotchi right now, 423. Third one's a 460, another wheat gotchi. See? Fourth one's a 435. I think I got wrecked on this one. Let's see. 435 Bitcoin gotchi. A 507 die gotchi, so that's not too bad. Number 6 is a 455.
That guy looks sleepy.
It's Bitcoin. Ooh, I like the eyes on this one. This is a 439 Bitcoin gotchi. Number 8 is a 414 Tether gotchi. Number 9 is a 464 wheat gotchi. All right, last one in the portal. 485. So I think 507 was the high for this one. Yep, I'll claim this one later. It's a die, but maybe I'll grab the Bitcoin one. Where's the Bitcoin?
The Bitcoin one's cool, man. Especially if you don't have one. It's I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like the eyes too. This one is not going to be like a killer, in terms of rarity, but it's a good looking gotchi. But yeah, those are two. Those are my 2 portals. I'll leave the other 2 open just to keep something. The other 2 closed rather. But yeah, thank you for joining and watching me degen out.
Thanks for sharing that with everybody.
Perfect. Yeah. Great way to end the Sunday DAO call. A little bit of degenaissance here. Looking forward to more of these things. Thank you, No Future, for doing that. That's awesome.
Mikey J, I love 100% of the stats that you share with this community.
Oh man, these are great. We gotta have this.
Those available at wearables.report. Where did he pulled those up pretty quick.
Almost like he's building a tool or something. What are you building over there? Mikey Bot. Okay. Gotta get that going. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out here. 49 people still in the call hanging out. What is this?
Hey, just DAO related too. I just want to give a little bit of perspective stuff here. I've been super impressed and very pleased with the DAO directors. Those guys are working hard. It's a pleasure to be a part of that group. The communication is high level. The intelligence is there. They're asking hard questions. It's not just a goon squad marching orders. There is good discussion, debate, and inquiry happening. So it's got me very bullish on us in general.
Yeah, this is like the great group of guys in there. It's really nice to watch that. Feels cozy.
Very, absolutely. All right. I think it's safe to say, Michael, Coder Dan, Mia, I think we can wrap it up. I think
time for brekkie. Let's roll.
I think so. Yeah, I'm in Seattle. watch out. I'm gonna be finding. I'm gonna go to the pier right now. I'm gonna go find a fun place to put some Aavegotchi stickers down. So gotta get my representation out here before we leave. And so yeah, keep an eye out for that. Y'all enjoy a great Sunday. Catch us tomorrow morning, GM with GMI, 3 p.m. UTC. We're out there on Twitter Spaces. Quick half an hour space. Share your day with us. We want to know what y'all are doing in Web3. So yeah, that's tomorrow morning, Monday to Friday. Come join us. And if we can't, we'll see you next Saturday or Sunday. There's almost something happening every day of the week in Gotchi Game, or Gotchiverse. So take care, friends. We'll catch you sometime.
Have a great Sunday. Remember to vote.
Remember to vote.
Later.
Absolutely. Peace.